So yeah, blaming my parents is no point. There's no point in that. So where is it my fault? So I sort of look through it and get to the point where it's like, okay, maybe now is the time in my life where I need to look at that and I need to think, right, what am I ashamed of? Well, I'm ashamed of the way I'm acting. Well, what can I do about that? Well, I better go to fucking counselling, really, because otherwise, what am I going to do in my life? Like, where am I going to get to in my life if I don't go and do that? You know, up at that point in my life, I was really struggling. You know, like I was having a lot of suicidal thoughts. Self-harm wasn't really something that crossed my mind, to be honest with you. I felt like my version of self-harm was just real negative thoughts, you know, like about myself, about other people. I used to have very dark, invasive thoughts as well, which I used to think made me... I've always been quite a sensitive person, so I remember watching this thing about serial killers, and then, you know, I sort of convinced myself maybe I could be a serial killer, and, you know, and then I would sort of think, God, shit, because I thought that, maybe I am that, and things like that used to plague me, and you know, that hit me quite severely at times, that did, and I work with a lot of people that go through that now, so I know that's, you know, that's common, that one, you know, like having invasive thoughts and dark thoughts and what have you. But yeah, it was kind of like looking at it and thinking, well, okay, how do I improve? I'm not enjoying my job at the moment. Could I do better? And you know, I've always been quite sharp, I guess. I'm certainly not a stupid person. I'm not very good when it comes to common sense. My spatial awareness and things like that's not great. I'm not good at reversing a motor. I'm sort of, you know, all over the gaff really. And my missus looks like she's gonna fucking pass out every time I've got to reverse park. But you know, I'm not too great in those sort of situations. But it's still like, I still sort of think, well, look, you know, when I was a kid, I was sort of built up to believe that I wasn't any good at anything. So rather than just looking at the fact that like there's certain areas of my life where I'm not like going to excel at, like I'm never going to be the world reversing champion, you know, but also there are things that I can do well, like counselling, for example. I've been really successful with counselling. I've worked with a range of many different people. And that's what I'm saying, see, like to go from somebody that's got social anxiety to the point where I wouldn't even go to the barbers, to somebody that can meet maybe 5-10 new people per week and see maybe 20 to 30 clients per week. And most of them, if not, you know, huge percentage of them get a lot better. So I need that, right? I need that sort of, I don't know, it's sort of self-reassurance, I guess, that I can give myself because of the fact that no one can take that away from me. Nobody. Like my past can't take that away from me. Like nobody can take that away from me. And that's something that I have to fucking realise. I have to know that because I've always been a person that would only recognise my accomplishments if somebody else did. You know, and therefore like a compliment would last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, you know, and never stay with me because I didn't believe it. It was like, I need another one. Give me more, give me more, give me more, you know. Always needed to feel better. That's why I was that intense friend when I was at school. It's like, mate, I need you because I don't feel enough. And I need you. Like when I started dating girls, same thing, you know, they were like run a mile because of how like needy I was and how I was always on their case. And I wanted to see them 8 days a week, you know. So yeah, I mean, and I suppose kind of getting a grip on that is not an easy thing to do, right? And it's hard. It was hard work to get a grip on all that. And it was only through kind of, see, I don't even think really, to be honest with you, that I dealt with the social anxiety. I feel like for me, the social anxiety really was kind of like, it fell off a bit as I got a little bit more confident in myself. And the way that I got a little bit more confident in myself was trying to conduct myself in a better way. So, you know, when I was a kid, for example, with that, like I was talking about that Big Brother thing where I used to think, you know, about what would everybody think if they looked at me. I think I was well onto something there, you know, because I think it's like, that's the equivalent, I suppose, of acting transparently, right? Like how you're behaving and what you're doing is acceptable, or you would not be embarrassed to tell anybody that you do that or show anybody or be like that with anybody. And I think that's a really good way to be. And so I think I was onto something at that age. And so I feel that that's what I've tried to do. You know, I've tried to make myself the best I can be in the areas of my life that mean something to me, you know. You know, I try to be a good dad. I don't always succeed, but I do my best with that. And where I don't succeed, I try to let my kids know where I've not succeeded, you know, so they don't blame themselves for it like I used to. I try to be a good husband, and I can be argumentative, and you know sometimes I can be a bit moody, but I do my best with that. I try to be a good mate, but I'm not always available, and I can be quite lazy like that. I'm very introvert, so my mates often say, "Fucking hell, I'm gonna have to come around unannounced to see you at some point if we don't arrange something." And it's not because I don't like my mates. I love my mates. I've got some really good mates that I've known since I was a kid. You know, I've got other mates that I've not seen that much for years, but I still speak to them a lot. I've got a couple of mates that I've spoken to pretty much every day throughout lockdown, and that have really, you know, we've been there for each other through a lot of the stuff that has been quite difficult for us, you know. And I love them all, but I don't always want to see them because I'm quite comfortable. Like, I like my family life. I'm quite comfortable. I'm one of them people where I'll arrange a night out and I'll arrange to see people, and then when it gets nearer the time, I think, oh man, like, I really can't be bothered. And it's nothing to do with them. It's not that I don't want to go out and see them. It's because I just don't want to go out. And that's because I'm so bloody introvert that it's knackering, man. Like, I go out for a few hours and come home and I'm fucked. And I think, oh, thank God I'm in. And that's no reflection on my pals whatsoever because they're great. But yeah, I've gone off on a tangent now and I've forgotten where I was leading with that. But yeah, it's kind of, it is about, like, I think for me, it has been about doing what I can to make myself the best version of myself that I can be. And that's how social anxiety stopped for me. You know, I know there's all different sorts of ways of dealing with it, and a lot of it is about reframing things. But I think that's kind of, in a way, how I reframed it, was by thinking, well, my problem with social anxiety may not necessarily all be social anxiety. Some of it's because I'm introvert as fuck, right? And I don't always want to go out. Some of it is that I don't believe in myself. So why don't I believe in myself? I've got to make myself a force to be reckoned with. This whole thing, actually, let me stop it and I'll go into part 4.